All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this morning's California EDD Unemployment Q&A live. Boy, is that a mouthful. I am just back from my trip where I worked with Jenny Silver. I'm sure you guys noticed a difference in the thumbnail this morning for the live, and that's because it was a professionally taken photo by Jenny. Okay, so I'm going to get into your questions pretty quick here. Good morning, Bonnie. Good morning, Sugar Sprinkles. And why isn't this scrolling? What is going on here? It's cutting off the top of someone's question, and I'm not sure why that is. So the first, okay. I don't know what's going on with my live chat. Anyway, so the first question that I can actually see is at 10:35 from Bargain Holic. It says, is it beneficial to file taxes if only income was unemployment and a little interest? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And the reason why I'm going to say yes on that is because there could possibly be another Golden State stimulus. I don't know if they'll call it that, but basically, they're thinking that for the year 2021, California may have had a surplus in their budget. And if when they balance their books, there is a surplus in the budget, they could decide to allocate the funds to another Golden State stimulus or something like that. And if they did, the way to get it last time was by filing your taxes. So I would just go ahead and file them now. The other reason for me personally why I would, in my opinion, think it's a good idea to file your taxes is you don't want to have, as we get older and we near needing Social Security income when we're no longer working, they take the average of the 35 years where you made the most money. So you don't want to have any years in there that have a zero because that could lower the amount of Social Security benefits that you receive. Ooh, my hair is a little frizzy though. Okay. Crypto Kicker says hi and thanks for my channel. All right. Thank you, Crypto Kicker. Are you here because of the video on the free NFT? So if you're new, I've never seen you here before. So let's talk about that free NFT for a minute. There's actually quite a few free NFTs available. And I think largely people on my channel were coming off of unemployment after everything that happened in 2020. And like, I know for me personally, I'm trying to claw my way to be a millionaire. And there's things that I want to try. And sometimes I get discouraged because I think I don't have enough money to invest in it, or the money that I have to try these things is not enough to make a significant difference. And I think NFTs are just so new that very few people really understand them. No one knows if they're going to be a good investment long term. But if someone wants to try getting an NFT or like getting into NFTs, like why not do it for free? And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is actually a promotion from Lionsgate Films and Autograph, which is like they host NFTs. They host a wallet, but it's not like a wallet, like you're going to eventually need to transfer it. Anyway, so that's who's putting it out. Some people were like, how come they're not using the Wax wallet like AMC did before? And that's because it's not exclusively an AMC free NFT. It's available through all movie circuits. So, and if you guys still don't know what I'm talking about, if you guys buy an advance ticket to see the film Moonfall, the movie, um, on Thursday, February 3rd, in the IMAX movie format, then you potentially qualify for a free NFT. So I'm into trying to make money, right? That's my whole deal, and showing you guys how to make money along the way. So why not get into NFTs for free if that's something that's even like piqued your curiosity? Who knows if it'll be worth anything, but it's a nice way to get into it without putting any of your own money on the line. Good morning, Sugar Sprinkles. Good morning, Bonnie Tone. Good morning, Scotty. Good morning, Frank. Michael, How would I rate my live stream with Jenny last week? My tax appointment next week. I hope I can get some money back this year. I hope. That's another thing that I do want to say about taxes is that a lot of people were nervous to file because they're not forgiving any of our unemployment money on the federal level. Of course, here in California, we never pay state tax on unemployment benefits. But most of the posts that I've seen, they've actually said that they're going to be still getting a refund. So don't be afraid to file your taxes. Guys, don't put it off. Don't put off sending in your PUA proof of employment documents either. Get those in. I know a lot of you have been waiting, but get those in. And then, like 10 out of 10 streaming in person with Jenny. I wish that we could have done that earlier. Um, viewers have fallen off. And I'm so glad to be able to do it for those of you who are dedicated to the both of us. It was wonderful working with her. I'm sure this will not be a surprise to anyone. She has a very strong work ethic. When she runs into something that gives her trouble, she doesn't just throw the towel in and say, "Okay, let's go grab dinner and have fun, and I'll come back to that tomorrow." No, she gets laser focused and she figures out how to get the problem solved. And it was really, really beneficial for me to kind of see that because I'm definitely the opposite. I'm like, oh, my little green guy, everything's on the wrong. Oh, well, whatever. I'm the type of person that gets frustrated with something and I'm like, "Oh, let me come back to this tomorrow." And then I've put off so many things that tomorrow becomes a little bit hectic and then some of the things don't get done. So I really enjoyed seeing her work. Robert says the proof of income is only for those who filed for PUA as their main source of unemployment, correct? Not for those that at some point got moved from regular or Fed Ed unemployment to PUA. Thank you. So, not necessarily. Basically, so what Robert's talking about is some people were put on PUA in the interim while some of the other unemployment extensions were being programmed into the EDD computer system. Basically, you need to, well, you said proof of income, but I'm thinking maybe you meant proof of work. Basically, if they ask you for it, you need to submit it in either of those cases. Um, so if they've asked you for proof of employment or proof of work, then please get that in. Not everyone has to do it, but as of their last news release, where they reported about the number of people that had actually turned in their documents, there were over 1 million people that still hadn't sent them in. Most people's due date is sometime in February, so that's coming up pretty quick. Okay, Lamonta's Life says, I received EDD. Will I owe money even if I had taxes withheld? It's so hard to say people's individual tax situation, right? Um, it's really impossible to know. A lot of people have been reporting that they're still getting refunds, but it all depends. I know for a lot of people who have gone back to work, the EDD, even when you checked the box to have taxes withheld, they weren't able to withhold taxes out of the extra $300 weekly boost, which we got the entire time we were on unemployment this time. And then, if you've gone back to work, depending on your individual situation, they withheld 10% out of your weekly benefit amount. And depending on your own situation, that may or may not be enough. I am hopeful that everyone on my channel gets a refund and doesn't owe. You guys, here, if this makes you feel any better, I think I'm gonna owe $15,000. Because my regular job doesn't know about YouTube. So they're like, "Oh, poor Shelly's barely making any money." And then they don't withhold enough taxes out of what I'm getting because they don't know I have this other source of income. And then YouTube can't withhold any of it. And it's crazy. And then I forget about things like the Weeble stock referral. If I win a free stock that is worth a lot of money, like I won a couple shares of Apple and a share of Tesla, like that's taxable too. So I'm going to get hit a little worse than I thought. I might have to do a payment plan. Okay, Scotty, I owe over $1,000 in taxes this year due to the federal boost not being able to have taxes withheld. So again, it's really individualized. And Crypto Kicker, I am going to start talking about NFTs more. You know, if you are an AMC Stubs member for their movie program, um, they gave out one to their investors, AMC Investor, I think it's called, or Investor Insider or something like that. They gave out another free NFT. That one, I'd be doubtful if it's worth anything, but I think their CEO is incredibly smart for hopping on that trend. I really, really do. He is taking full advantage of the AMC apes and meme stocks and everything that's happening. So AMC to the moon. All right, someone's given me a donation. This is Fun Kids Tube. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for all the work I shared with us. Do I know how long it will take till I see if my document was sufficient? I don't. What I do know is that many people are calling the EDD and they're asking, like, hey, are my documents approved? And when they call, the reps are like, yes, your documents are approved. I don't know why they haven't sent you the letter. And the customer service reps who've been wrong in the past, they say things like, you might never get a letter. And again, as of the most recent California EDD news release that mentions that, they specifically state that you will get a letter in writing if either way, basically, whether they were accepted or they weren't accepted. An early way to tell if they weren't accepted is if you see your payment switch to disqualified. Um, and, no news is good news. Mel was in here a lot when her friend was worried about whether their documents were going to be accepted or not. And finally, they heard, you guys know that Jenny Silver is kind of my gauge for determining if we need to worry or not. She turned in her proof of work or her proof of self-employment documents right away, and they still haven't let her know if hers are approved. And you guys, if anybody did it by the book to the T, we know it's Jenny Silver. So as long as she hasn't heard, I'm not going to worry. And many of the reps are telling people, like, I've seen multiple cases where people have gotten antsy and they've called in, and then the reps say, oh yeah, I can see that it's approved, and you're never going to get a letter. So I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. And Scotty, I'm sorry that you owe 1,000 in taxes. Ugh, it's rough. It's really rough. Now I know Scotty is somebody who went back to work and he was working 3 jobs at one point. That can all factor in as well. Because so let's say you make $1,000 at job A, and so they tax you at 10%. And then you make another $1,000 at job B, and you all made $1,000 there too, and they only tax you at 10%. And then you make $1,000 at job C, and they also only tax you at 10%. Well, really, if you're making $3,000 a week, first of all, good for you. That is a lot of money. But additionally, your employer, if you were just at one employer making $3,000 a week, they would normally tax you somewhere between 15 and 24%. So when you're working multiple jobs like that and they're not communicating with each other and they don't know about each other, and they're taxing you less than you would be if you made the same amount of money from one job, that can also contribute to why you would owe. I hope that made sense. I feel like I explained that in a way that was manageable. And again, I'm not a tax professional. I'm certainly not a NFT expert, but I am learning about that. And I don't work for the EDD, but as you guys know, like through all of this, I've become pretty good at that. But I'm still not an expert and still not official information. Joel, I did my taxes yesterday and I don't know that much because of Uber write-offs. The good news is that I'm no longer taking a loss. I have taxable income. Will I qualify for the stimulus now? So they haven't said that they're going to spend the surplus budget money if when they balance the books we have a surplus. They haven't specifically said that they're going to use it for another Golden State stimulus. And I don't want to get anybody's hopes up falsely. So I will also say that many people say that they won't use it for that. They actually have 2 years after discovering a surplus in the budget to actually allocate those funds for something. And many, many, many people think that even this last Golden State stimulus that we got was only because Newsom was up for, that recall election, and he wanted to do that to try and ensure that he stayed in office. So it's unclear now that his, seat isn't in jeopardy if that's how they will allocate that money or not. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Mari says, "What is an NFT?" It's not gonna help if I tell you what it is. It's a non-fungible token, right? And let's see if I have a picture on my phone. I gotta learn how to share my screen with you guys. Did I take a picture of the AMC one? No, of course not, because that would have made too much sense. So an NFT, it's kind of like digital art that you own. Like someone else could screenshot it, they can say, but like you actually own that digital image. And there's like limited numbers of them. Okay, so this is from the Spider-Man NFT, and there's a couple really cool ones. Where's the one? I liked it. I wanted to call it the Spidey Collidey. I don't think this is the Spidey Collidey. This is an example of an NFT, right? And so the AMC also gave this one out for free. This is not my Spider-Man NFT. Mine was like you don't know. Also, there's like a little bit of a surprise element, right? There's a little bit when you're getting these free NFTs that they're giving out as movie promotions. So they did one for Spider-Man, and that was an AMC exclusive. And I'm going to admit, like, I would not have gone to AMC to see Spider-Man on opening night in the middle of everything that's going on in a packed auditorium if it weren't for the promise of an NFT. Now, when you actually redeem the NFT, these are digital, so they like spin around and stuff. Let me see if I can find. And then so some of them I'll probably still make a video on this, but basically it's digital art is the easiest way to explain it. I don't want to get into the blockchain because that gets really confusing, but basically like you own it. It's numbered. It's limited edition a lot of the times, and it has the potential to go up in value. It also has the potential to be like the next Beanie Baby craze. Which, by the way, guys, I like to try out everything. I was looking around because it's actually not in this room, it's in another room. I bought Beanie Babies and they're just sitting there collecting dust. And they're sitting underneath my mom's bed at her house. I like to try these things, right? I think I would be lying to you guys if I wasn't like, tell you that I'm interested in the possibility for something to be valuable, right? And I think a lot of us are hoping that. We're hoping that we stumble upon the right thing. We don't want to miss out if there was an opportunity. So, I would not recommend to any of us really putting our own money on the line to see if it's valuable. But if you can get one for free and that has the potential to be valuable, then in that case, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? So that's why I was sharing about the NFTs. Okay. And I did a video on it. So if you guys are a little bit more curious about what you can get for free, it's with ticket purchase. So it's free and it isn't. Like if you're seeing the movie on that night in IMAX, make sure your theater tells you that you're getting the free NFT. Then, so you're paying for the movie ticket, but then you're getting the NFT for free. So also only spend the money on the movie ticket if that was a movie that you were planning on seeing. Okay, Karen, I would only invest in those weird investments if I don't mind losing those funds. Exactly. So I actually did buy an NFT because I was curious about it. I spent $30. Here's another thing though. You wind up with all these different like wallets. And I don't love having like money here and money there and passwords here and passwords there because I think you're more likely to just totally forget about it, which I also don't encourage. But like try it out if it's free. If you're really interested in owning digital art and NFT, which stands for non-fungible token, and you can afford to just completely kiss that money goodbye, or you just really love the art, or you really want to support the movement, then I could get on board with that. But don't spend money that you don't have on that. Okay. James says, I did my taxes and I owed $500, but I saved $1,500 for taxes. I guess I won then, didn't I? Haha. Yes. That's awesome. And this does seem like a good time. You guys, the reason why I share this is if there's opportunities to have or make money, I'm going to share them. I hope you save that money in Yada Bank. I had one of my viewers tell me that they won $100 because they were using Yada Savings Bank. And I always have that linked in the video descriptions down below. And in about a year, I've won over $300 with them. So I'm enjoying that. I used to get like a penny from Wells Fargo. Now I've gotten over $300 in a year. That's a good investment. All right. Good morning, Francis. And James, maybe consider something that you might want to do. You might want to consider this is putting some of that money. I know a lot of financial YouTubers, they sing the praises of the Roth IRA. If we're not going to have like a ton of money by the time we retire, a traditional IRA, if you put that $1,000 in a traditional IRA and then put it in like a ETF, then that could potentially lower your tax liability for this year. You actually have until April to contribute to a traditional IRA and have it count towards the 2021 tax year. It's just something to think about. But you said your taxes are done, so you might not want to go back and amend them just for that, but something to think about. I would love to see you either save that money aside for emergencies or get started on investing. And if you want to do investing, Weeble's still giving out 2 free stocks. That's also linked in the description down below. Okay, Prince Ali says, I was surprised you got even a tiny refund this year with my taxes. I saved like close to 1,000 just in case, and none of that was spent. It's like another stimulus kind of. Yes, it is. And again, I'm going to encourage you guys to either save it for a rainy day or invest it. Or maybe do it in thirds. I know it's hard to have extra money and not spend it on something enjoyable. So if you're like, Shelly, I want to spend that money, put a third in savings, invest a third, and then spend a third. But whatever you do with it, I wouldn't, if it were, in my opinion, don't spend it all. Okay. What are Apple and Tesla stocks worth these days? Tesla's worth, everything just fell. Tesla's worth a little between like 8 and 900, might be back up at like 915. And Apple's worth like a little under 200, I believe. Okay. All right. Good morning, Ernie. I lost my place, so I'm scrolling back up. You guys know that means it's a good time to like the video. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I'm at 11:07 in the comments. Guillermo says, can you get Social Security and disability at the same time? I'm not sure. I think it's a completely different program. I actually think it's called SSDI, Social Security Disability Income. So I think if you get SSD or Social Security Disability Insurance, I think if you're on like getting disability money that you don't get Social Security, I think it's one or the other. A lot of people unfortunately become disabled before they're able to collect Social Security money. So oftentimes, if you become disabled before retirement age, basically, you would go on SSDI. And then I think once your retirement age, you can switch over to just regular Social Security. Don't quote me on that. I'm not as familiar with those programs. The part that I know about those is because my mom gets I always get confused which one she even gets. She gets SSDI. And I know that was like a big fight to get that as well. Okay, Debbie, love the neon sign. Where is the ugly green man? He's right here. See, he's seeing you called him ugly. He'll be happy again. So I have the plant and my green guy sitting there. There, that's how that's supposed to go, I think. So that he peeks out over my shoulder. Sugar Sprinkles, don't forget to leave a like. Yes, thank you. Ben says, I think Jenny is like my sister, laser focused and kind of ruthless sometimes. I did not find her to be ruthless at all. She was really just amazing. But yes, laser focused. And it's really good. She didn't mess around, which is good because I didn't pay her. I paid her for her services. Now going back after looking at everything she did for me, I don't think she charged me enough. She worked her tail off for me. And she's gorgeous in person, just like she is on camera. And I did briefly get to see her without makeup. She's gorgeous without makeup as well. And just a really nice, but business-minded, professional person. We got along well, which was great. I really, really, really enjoyed working with her. I think both of us had kind of meant to vlog our experience a little bit and make videos. I'm not sure how much of that we got done, but hopefully there'll be a video from one or both of us that kind of takes you guys behind the scenes. The pictures, though, they're absolute fire. I don't know if you guys can see when I show you guys pictures. I'll give you guys another little behind the scenes here. She took over 4,000 pictures, which is apparently a lot. She bought a money gun. And she shot money. She was like, Shelly, can I shoot money at you? And I was like, absolutely, you can. Look at that. That's going to make an amazing thumbnail. Money's raining from the sky. I don't know what we'll use that for. But here's a piggy bank for if we're sad about investing. She bought the piggy bank as well. Her friend Kat that used to moderate on her channel did my makeup professionally. It was really fun. It was fun, but it was work, laser focused on the work element, but it was a lot of fun as well. And she put a lot of work into it, a lot of hours, because she put a lot of hours into it before I got up there as well. Lamonta's life. I received EDD. Will I owe money if I had federal taxes withheld? So again, it's really hard to say because everybody's tax situation is so different. It will depend on if you went back to work, how many jobs you had at one time if you went back to work. Do you have dependents? I would say that most people that I've seen reporting that have dependents, have children that they're taking care of, even with the advanced child care tax credits, are still seeing refunds. They just might not be as big as they were in previous years. So it just depends on so many different factors, like married, single. I get hit real bad because I'm single as well. I unfortunately can't claim the little green guy as a child. Would love to. But yeah, I get hit because I'm single pretty hard. Okay. Linda says, our Sprite and Fun Kids tube, they retracted their own messages. Linda, I did my taxes early, and surprisingly, it wasn't bad at all. What a huge relief not to worry about taxes anymore. Yes, I need to do mine because I've estimated it a bunch of different ways. And it's all bad, from a low of about 10,000 to a high of about 17,000. And that's a big range. Part of it also is when you are self-employed, once you make over $1,000 or once you owe over $1,000 in taxes, that's when the IRS says, you're going to need to start paying quarterly estimated taxes. So when even if I owe $10,000 in taxes, I'm also going to get hit for about $2,500 minimum for my first quarterly estimate tax payment. So I am not looking forward to my taxes at all. You guys should not hopefully be in that situation at all. Scotty, who even had the 3 jobs, he owed about 1,000. And you can make payment plans with the IRS. I may need to look into that depending on the interest rate. Okay, Vanessa says, I'm watching my nephew today, and I also want to say awesome job on my collaboration with the mighty Jenny Silver. Why, thank you so much. It was really nice for us to be able to do that for you guys. That was something we've collaborated about 4, maybe 5 times officially on YouTube, and I say officially like this because we message each other back and forth. I probably message her more than she messages me, but we message each other back and forth. Um, and if for a long time, like Jenny's channel would grow and mine would grow. It was, even though hers has grown faster and she's been more successful, she has put the work in for that. Often publishing 2 videos a day during the height of the pandemic. I think one day she published 3 or 4 videos. She did that several times. She was really putting out the content and really setting herself up to be successful long-term in YouTube. And, as things are still a little bit uncertain, that's what I want. I want to set myself up to be successful long-term on YouTube. I'm trying to figure out like what angle is best for this. I see that there's like a cord that I see on the wall for the sign and it's annoying me. Okay. But yeah, it was really fun. I wish we could have done it like when more people were like, you guys should collaborate. Are you guys going to meet in person? Like during the height of everything, we were getting that quite a bit. And so, I feel like that was a long time coming, us meeting in person. JM, if I owe taxes, will I owe a penalty? I wouldn't think so. You would only owe a penalty, like perhaps, I know some people are amending their taxes from 2019. If you file late, you could potentially owe a penalty. And JM, and if you're somebody like me, sometimes the IRS is like, naughty, naughty, you should have been paying quarterly estimated taxes this whole year. I might have a penalty. But probably most of you guys, I would think, would not have a penalty. Jillian says, I'm scared to do taxes, but everyone's saying it's not so bad. So now I'm more confident to do them. Yeah, that's mostly what I've seen, is that it's not too bad. And I know that Scotty said he owed 1,000 and it's because of the unemployment, but it's probably like a multitude of factors. Like I know he did have the 3 jobs. And since those jobs don't know about each other, that can often be like what messes you up as well. Joel, last year I was in the negatives and didn't have taxable income, hence no stimulus or the 600. This year I actually have some income that's taxable. Expand that 600 and make 2021 taxes count too. That would be really nice. I haven't heard any talk about that. Streeb Central 2 says submitted PUA documents with wrong year typo. Got declined letter in mail. Called EDD 3 times. Spoke to tier 2 reps. Was sent a new email requesting to resend documents, and of course has no link. Nothing can be easy. Yeah, in your case, you could go ahead and just resubmit the same documents, but with the correct date with the appeal. And a lot of times, if you do need to send something back when you request the appeal, if it satisfies the requirements, then they're going ahead and not making you go through the whole long process of the appeal and just going ahead and keeping your claim approved. So that might be a route you want to take. You could also reach out to your assembly member and see if they can help you with that. And I have the assembly member linked up above, claimer, who will help you call the IRS, the SDI line, EDD, and the Franchise Tax Board about Golden State stimulus. And I have the Housing is Key link up there. They're still accepting applications, but most of the funds right now are already allocated, but California is expecting to get more funding. So if you haven't already filled out an application for Housing is Key, go ahead and get that in now. Karen, you uploaded tax returns on November 11th and you never heard anything, just like Jenny. Yeah, a lot of people haven't. So as long as it doesn't switch to disqualified, I I would say that that's a good thing. All right, Linda says, has anyone submitted PUA documents heard anything? Doesn't seem like many have. It really depends. Some people have and some people haven't. I lost my place again. Oh, I found it. Okay. Mari says, can you give me an example of someone who might give forgiveness if they collected PUA and collected no other income? Do you mean like if you collected PUA and you don't really have documents to submit? Or do you mean tax forgiveness? So I'm not sure which you mean. For PUA, you would need to show them to make you eligible for that. You would need to have an offer letter with a start date, or a business plan where you were about to open a business but couldn't because of everything. So maybe you had no income, but you were about to have income and then everything got disrupted. They could potentially approve your PUA claim in that scenario. And then in terms of tax forgiveness, if unemployment was your only source of income, you're probably not going to owe. And actually, if you were checking the box to have taxes withheld, it's possible that actually you would get a little bit of a refund. Okay, sugar sprinkles. You started doing them a few years ago. No one helped. It's not too bad. Just make sure to always keep everything every year. You have an organized made. It definitely helps. Is that for the taxes? JM, heck, I know someone who won their appeal for PUA from 2020 who still has not been paid by the EDD. I would tell that person to reach out to their assembly member. I have unfortunately heard that as well, where people win their appeals, they're supposed to be awarded benefits, and then they aren't paid in a timely manner. So see if the assembly member can help with that. Sprite, PUA documents sent in a black hole. It seems so. Vanished. LOL. Possibly. Julia says, is it a good idea to detail reasons on the appeal letter why you disagree with EDD's determination for PUA, or just the basic verbiage? Disagree with the decision and request a hearing. So I'm a little bit torn on that. Is there a place to add some comments? So I know that with PUA, if you're able to submit additional documents, like if you have, and sometimes even just sending the same documents and saying, hey, these were supposed to be on the list of approved documents. This is what I submitted. This is why I submitted it. That could help avoid the official appeal process. And they can just go ahead and say, okay, yes, you were eligible to receive PUA benefits. I worry about getting too wordy with the EDD. If you have additional information, if you can explain in a concise manner, in a short manner, why you disagree with that decision, I would go ahead and put that. If the reason why you disagree with their decision really takes a lot of explaining and is going to take more than 6 sentences to explain, in that situation, I don't think I would include it, just because the EDD seems to be they trip up over their own information, and I don't want to confuse them. And also, part of the reason why I say that, my mom had a VA pension claim and she had to request an overpayment waiver and she had to go through appeals and all of that. I think a lot of times the person getting it, and this is what I was trying to explain to her, also try not to handwrite anything. If you can, type up a response and include it on a separate page, because the person getting the appeal is probably like an entry level position, right? They're not the decision maker, the person that's opening it. It's mostly probably going in a yes, this person wants to file an appeal. No, this person doesn't want to file an appeal. There's probably the person opening it might not actually read what you wrote. And since they're getting so many of these, you want to keep it short and sweet, because if there's still a million people that need to submit their documents, there could potentially be a million people needing to appeal the decision. And then someone somewhere, not probably not the person opening the correspondence, but somewhere down the line, someone's needing to read all of this. So the more concise that you can explain it, the better, in my opinion, that would be. So I hope that answered it. But that would kind of be up to you. Hi, Pamela. 3 purple hearts right back to you. Okay, and I'm at 11:26 in the comments. Mary says, I received my approval letter and would like to know if this is it with the EDD. I'm ready for all this to be over. It should be. There is a little bit of wording that says like no further action is required at this time. And since it says at this time, it does imply that like in the future you might need to follow up. Stick with the channel, stick with Jenny's channel. I'm sure if there is anything additional that we'll release videos on it, but it should, for the most part, be over and you should be able to put this behind you. Marcus says, please answer my question. I just tuned in. You have to do an affidavit for my proof of income through EDD PUA. How do I get the affidavit and how do I figure it out? I have a really great video on how to fill out an affidavit linked in the description down below. It's like a 6-minute video. It's really going to walk you through it. I go through a specific situation, but you should be able to tailor that to your specific needs and get that back to them. Audrey says, EDD asked for PUA proof from 120 to 320. You were a new hire, not enough hours. You got a W-2. They have my 1099. Can I take a pic and upload? Yes, I would think that that would be okay. And in your situation, you were able to explain that to me. Super easy, super short. I would kind of say that. I would say, I was a new hire. I didn't have enough wages to qualify for a W-2 or for regular unemployment. Here's my W-2. You said 1099 though. So the 1099 is what we get from the EDD. If you have a pay stub or something like that, or what that employer sent you at the end of 2020, you should be able to submit that. And I know maybe you're asking because the 2020 tax documents are filed in 2021 and that would be out of date. So in your case, I would explain why you're sending. I would just send, if you can get a pay stub, that should be within the correct date range that they're asking for. So maybe contact your employer, or maybe I know like a lot of employers use like ADP or Dayforce or something like that where it's computerized. You should still be able to go back and access your pay stubs through whatever computer program you're accessing the information that they gave you on your W-2 at the end of the year. And then you could submit the pay stub instead of the W-2 because that would be within the correct date range. Okay, Wahiba says, how am I? I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you for saying I look amazing. Oh, you got a job as a preschool teacher and you love being with kids. That is awesome. Congratulations on the new job. Yeah, the money gun was really cool. It made some really great photos. Marcus, I have a video on my channel on how to write an affidavit. I sure do. I am going to be revising that. I have heard a lot of people have used that and they've had their documents approved, but the EDD recently got a little more specific in what they want. So I think I will try and make a revised version of that. I'm not sure when I'm going to have that video out though. Debbie, what was it like the first minute I actually met Jenny? I lost my place. Oh, she seemed excited during the opening of the live for our rendezvous. Yes. So she was filming and I had been driving the previous day before. I spent the night with a friend. She's pregnant. She actually gave birth on Friday. So I was contemplating, do I see this pregnant friend first or do I see her second? And of course, I wanted to limit the chance of like exposing her to anything after I was like, in close contact with people, had someone like pretty close to me doing my makeup and everything. And so I decided to stay with the pregnant friend first, and they kept their house like an ice box, and I had to wear like socks on my hands as gloves. So I was like, I had barely slept, and Jenny was recording, and I was just like, "Hi, are you recording?" So, and then like we hugged, honestly, like I've spent so much time talking to her on Zoom and on Instagram, like it really didn't feel like meeting a stranger for the first time. It really felt like, oh, okay, like we're just friends and we haven't seen each other in a while and now we're reconnecting in person. It was really like natural. Okay. Francis says the pictures are gorgeous. You haven't seen the half of it yet. Can you file for EDD back pay? You can. And to do that, you're just going to go to your UI Online homepage, use the Ask EDD feature, and use the drop-down menu. You are going to need to have a good reason why you've waited to request the back pay. Debbie Hall seems like I might be married to the little green man. No. Francis, how can I practice doing my own taxes? I don't want to pay a tax person this year. Francis, most of the okay, so I was nervous about that too last year because 2020 was the first year that I did the YouTube channel. It really, really walks you through it. I did pay for the more expensive version because of the self-employment and my first time on unemployment and all of those things together made me nervous to anyway, I paid for the one where like if I get audited, they'll represent me or something. But just you can actually go through most of the steps towards filing your taxes on like H&R Block or TurboTax. And if you get all the way through it and something confuses you, you're not able to do it on your own. They also have like a little chat box that'll pop up. So like if you get stuck on a question, just use that chat box. I think that even comes with the complimentary versions of the tax filing software. Just ask your question as you're going along. And then at the end is when it'll tell you like your estimated refund or the estimated amount you owe. And if you're like, "Oh, I don't think this is right," at that time you could like just kind of like walk away from the tax software and not actually pay them for filing. So the point where it asks you to pay, if you even have to pay, sometimes they offer free tax filing software even at those big companies. Um, if you get to the point where you need to pay and you don't wanna go through filing with them, then you just log out and never log back in. Um, okay. Miri says, Shelly and Jenny did an amazing job. You love the pictures. Shelly, Jenny did an amazing job. Yes, she did. She really did. They're so beautiful. You guys, she took over 4,000 pictures. She whittled that down to like 400. And she was like, put a heart on all the ones that you like. And I hearted like almost all 400 of them. So that took a lot of time just taking those pictures and going through them and all of that. Marcus, I hope I got your first message as well. I'm at 1134 in the comments. Siegel, for everyone that already did their taxes, maybe it will be a headache if the government passes another $10,200 write off. I'm almost tempted to wait. So last year, if you would have watched the channel last year, I would have told you that, and yes, Debbie, I see your question. We'll get to that soon. I would have told you that it would be worthwhile to wait because it was all over the news that they were still contemplating that like forgiving it. They even had the amount that they were contemplating forgiving and all of that. This year, there's nothing like that. There's no talk of forgiving any of the tax money. So that would have to like just really come out of the blue. And I don't think that's going to be the case. So this year, I don't think there's any reason not to go ahead and file your taxes right away. But of course, if you want to wait, you can. I might wait just because I'm not anxious to see how much I truly owe. And I need to collect some money aside to save money in order to pay my tax bill. So I might wait, but it's not because I think that they're going to forgive any of the tax money. Okay, so Debbie is asking me to discuss the freeze on STI services by the EDD because it's getting a lot of press this week. Yes, so basically what happened is somehow people who were being fraudulent, basically they had basically people were like taking doctors' information and falsifying it. So now, and people were trying to get disability insurance since they weren't getting unemployment benefits, the EDD caught on to it, and now the EDD is actually like making the doctors go on to ID.me and verifying their identity. And then once they do that, then they're releasing the money to the valid SDI claims. It's really terrible. Mari's saying no one will owe tax. And then Miri is saying the 10,200 was for last year only. Yeah. And then Debbie's also saying, I'm holding taxes till April, hoping for payment waivers and deadline extensions. Yeah, that could be. That could be. Mari says, I already collected unemployment and need to file. Will I owe money? It's really so individual. It's hard to say. A lot of people are not. Miri is saying, correct, it was only last year. But imagine if the government passed a similar thing for 2021's taxes. It doesn't seem likely, though. Yeah, I'm agreeing with everything you guys are saying right now. Lois Lane, how are they going to get the money back from people that were approved while they were incarcerated and people that didn't even live in the US? I don't know. Those people who are incarcerated could have to go to court again. They could stay incarcerated longer. People that don't live in the US, they would definitely have a more difficult time recuperating that. Uh-oh, Pavla, I skipped you. What is the timestamp and can you ask it? Oh, 11:15. Okay, got it. Scrolling back up, and I'm so sorry. Okay, I see it. I'm sorry. Okay, you said, I didn't file in 2019 as I only earned $300. EDD knows that. As I told them when I applied, my range is January, I think, of 2020 until March of 2020. Do you think I still need to send them my 2020 taxes? Okay, let me reread that. You didn't file in 2019 because you only earned 300. EDD knows that because you told them that when you applied. Your range is January of 2020 until March 2020. So your 2020 taxes would not be in the range that they asked for. Do you have any like receipts or invoices or business contracts or correspondence that you could send them from the time period? I would really try and send them something from the time period that they're asking for. If you don't have that, if you only have your 2020 taxes, I would send that along with, I would also send them the affidavit in that case, or at least a really strong paragraph explaining, I didn't file my taxes in 2019 because I didn't make enough to meet the requirement to file them. But as you can see, in 2020, I had a little bit of income from that job. So I did, or from my self-employment. So I did go ahead and file taxes in 2020. That's what I'm submitting you. I would think that if you sent the 2020 though, that would need to show some of that self-employment income would need to be claimed on there. And again, I think in that case, in my opinion, I think it would be better to try and find emails from clients, contracts with clients, invoices for items that you bought with for your business, those types of things, if they have dates on them that correspond with the dates that the EDD asked for. But again, if you only have what you have, right? So if you don't have anything within that time frame that they're asking for, but you do have something, your 2020 taxes, that's not from the time frame. In that case, yes, send that, but send it along with the affidavit explaining why you're submitting something outside of the time frame. Basically, don't ignore it and send nothing is my advice on that. Okay, let's see here. I'm scrolling back down. I'm sorry I missed your question. That was not intentional. Uh-oh. Okay. Josie says, happy Sunday. Yes, happy Sunday. And I'm going to see my mom today. Coconut says, If I only made around $370, will the EDD validate that as self-employment? I only made that amount in about a year and a half. I also have no proof of documentation because I was paid in cash. You were paid in cash and have no receipts or documents. Since I made so little, I never filed my taxes. What do you think EDD will do in my situation? So in your case, you're going to need to fill out the affidavit. You're going to need, and did you buy anything for the business? Like, let's say, what's an all cash business? My mom sells stuff at the swap meet, right? Um, she does file like her business tax or whatever, but the swap meet is all cash, right? And she bought things. It's not just things from her home. She bought items to resell at the swap meet, and she has like a reseller's permit and all that kind of stuff. So, um, but it's all cash. So she wouldn't necessarily need to file federal taxes if she doesn't want to. So let's say that you sold at the swap meet. Um, one, did you buy anything for that business that was not in cash? Did you buy any supplies for your business? In the case of the swap meet, my mom would have like receipts from things that she bought to resell. So that could count. But if you don't have any documents, you're going to have to fill out the affidavit, and you're going to need to reference my video on how to fill out an affidavit. And you're going to have to tell them what your business was, how much you received in cash, and why you need to send them the affidavit. And a lot of people have had success with that. The EDD could come back and have more questions for you though. Worst case scenario, you fill out the affidavit, they send you a notice of potential overpayment. You would send back the appeal form, and then, if you found any documents or remembered any, you would include those. You would have your appeal hearing. Then let's say that the judge says, nope, you weren't eligible for PUA. At that time, at that time they would determine that you did have an overpayment. And after they actually determine you have an overpayment, that is when you could request an overpayment waiver. So you've got to send in whatever you have. Don't just send nothing. And in your case, that's going to be the affidavit. That's going to be your best bet. Oh, why, hello, Randor from the Dominican Republic. Ba, 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 ba. Karen says 4 to 6 months of emergency funds, cash not invested, is a real peace of mind. Yes, yes, it is. And Josie, you said that here in SoCal and they didn't understand me. Wait, what? What did? Oh, you guys are talking? I'm not sure about what. And why do I keep getting these weird comments? I'm hiding these weird links. Okay. And you guys, I had somebody that like impersonated me. Please don't ever send anybody any money. I will never ask you guys for money. My services, which the extent of my services are this live stream, right? That's like the extent of my services. I'm going to get you guys, I'm going to get to your questions here. I would never like ask you to, unless I physically like point you out in the live and say, DM me on Instagram. It's not me. If I have not said specifically your name during a live and specifically told you to DM me, then it's fake, and I'm so sorry about that. Okay, Debbie, use a CPA. You won't miss a deduction. You write off the expense as a business deduction, and a CPA signature on return carries a lot of clout. So you would most likely would avoid an IRS audit. So Debbie, I agree with that. However, when I started looking for a CPA, I had trouble finding one. I would like to hire a CPA and make sure that I don't miss deductions and make sure that my taxes are done totally correct. But so many of them, either they're super expensive. Social media is relatively new. So I feel like in my situation, like the CPAs that I talked to were like, they didn't seem knowledgeable. So I didn't like that. And then I don't know. It was just kind of like I ended up just doing them myself. And I think that's my plan again this year. My friend has also been audited and he said it's not that bad. He said that basically like he owns like a lot of property in Florida, out of state that he's purchased with friends. And so he's like a landlord and he does the repairs, whatever. He's got like a lot of stuff. He's smart and he's got a lot of stuff going on. He said that he got audited once and basically like he was trying to claim like 100% of his phone was business expense. And during the audit, they were like, look, we know that your personal phone that like at some point you picked it up and you made a personal call on it. You called your mom or you did this or you did that. And so they were like, how about we call it 50%? And he was like, okay. And they did the audit and he ended up owing a little, but it was like not a lot of money. So he made it seem like it wasn't that bad. Okay. So don't necessarily be nervous of an audit, I guess is my point. Moontime says, thanks, Shelly. Oh, my shoe. Oh, you like the shoes. Yeah. Okay. Oh, shoot. Let's see if I can get to it quickly because I'm not trying to be gross, but like this was such a good picture. Jenny Silver is such a good photographer. Let's say that there is a picture just of a pair of different shoes. And I was like, haha, we could do something else on the business with this. I'll try and look for that while I need to put like a quick link to this. Okay, hold on. Okay. And she had me buy some really cute shoes for the thing. Okay. You did buy makeup. You're a makeup artist, but you have no receipts. Are you sure like you don't have anything from Amazon or CVS or anything? What about credit card statements? Did you buy any of the makeup with a credit card? Could you use the credit card statements, like if you went to Sephora or something like that? Do you have any text messages um, from clients or any emails from dates that you were going to do their makeup? If you do, then you might be able to submit those along with the affidavit. Oh my god, guys, these photos are so good. Oops, I'm scrolling too far here. We did so many outfit changes. I don't wanna spoil too much. Um, we have some where I don't look as good. Okay, we're almost to the shoe photo. All right, I'm not trying to be weird, you weirdos, but here's a shoe photo. Nice and clean, brand new shoes. I'm like, I'm like, can I clean the soles of those and return them? Because they're a little bit big at the back. And I'm not sure if I can actually walk in those at work. I only want to keep shoes. I can't return shoes that I wore, right? That's wrong. I'm not going to do that. But I definitely thought about it. Maybe they'll be on eBay. Maybe I'll sell them used. Okay. Am I doing a Valentine's Day live with mom? Is Valentine's Day on a Sunday? I don't know. I certainly don't have anyone else to spend Valentine's Day with, I'll tell you that much. Okay. February, that's on a Monday. I don't know. Maybe. She's not up that late. We'll see. Maybe. I always tell her they're requested. Okay, KY says hi. I was able to reverse my PUA disqualification and got my approval letter. Am I done or should I still send in my appeals? I think as long as you got the approval letter that you should be good. If you got it reversed by talking to a tier 2 representative, as long as it's cleared up, you should be okay. All right. Hello. Nice thumbnail. Why, thank you. That is because I had some professional photos done by Miss Jenny Silver. Miss Debonair says, good afternoon from LA. I'm also in LA, but good afternoon. Josie says, what do I think of those free tax assistance for AARP? Those can be a good resource for people. I think anytime you can get help for free, that you should utilize it. That's what they're there for. They know their stuff. They're not like some scam. So like, what Josie's talking about is a lot of times like it might be at a senior center or perhaps at a library or a local church or synagogue or something like that, or a mosque. They'll say like, hey, on Monday, February 14th, we're going to have tax assistance available for you that's provided by the AARP. Those are all set up by government organizations. So those should be trustworthy and they should be able to help you with any questions that you have. And if you go and you utilize their services and you don't like them, you don't have to go all the way through filing, or you can go halfway through the meeting and just say, you know what? Um, you don't seem nice or you don't seem knowledgeable. I don't think I want to go ahead and use you. I'm going to file my taxes on my own. You could do that. But yeah, I would recommend utilizing those free services. Um, or TurboTax. I personally use TurboTax. TurboTax, if you'd like to sponsor a video, you can now reach me at Shelly at shellysmillions.com. You guys, my website is live. I'm probably so if you guys want to see more pictures from the photo shoot, go to shellysmillions.com. And of course, Jenny Silver, one of the things that she did for me was she completely set up my website because that is something that I am not good at yet. I'm trying to always put the yet in there. I don't want to tell myself that I'm not good at something. I haven't had a chance to learn it yet. I will learn it. I will get good at it. Um, but I'm not good at it yet, and I had zero desire to do that. So Jenny Silver set up my website for me. You guys can see a few more of the pictures that she took. Okay. The black color looks good on me. The shirt, I also slapped a little bit of makeup on and brushed my hair this morning. Also, I didn't work last night, so I don't feel like I'm not as tired this morning coming into this. I'm still like on vacation. From my trip working with Jenny. So yeah. Yeah. Sugar Sprinkles loves TurboTax. Yeah, it is pretty easy. It's gonna just walk you through it, especially if you're not self-employed. It's just gonna be like boom, 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 and it's super, super easy. And if you don't have a lot of complicated situations going on, like if you're not self-employed, self-employed gets a little tricky. But even though it was my first time being self-employed, TurboTax walked me right through that easily as well. It's going to say things like, did you collect unemployment benefits? And if you answer yes, it'll ask you how much, and that's going to be right there on the 1099-G. It'll ask you, do you have any self-employment to report? It's just really, do you have dependents? How old are they? It's really, really going to walk you through it, and it should be fairly simple. If you're somebody with multiple businesses and employees and you're self-employed and you had W-2 income and you collected unemployment benefits and maybe you were trading stocks and collecting dividends and all of that, that's when it can get a little tricky. And that's when I would, tend to do what Debbie suggested, which is using an actual CPA. And that is something that I wanted to do that. What a difference when I don't work at that theater. Right? Yeah, I mean, I was just I went to bed really early last night. I went to bed at like 10 o'clock, and normally I would be going to bed at 2 or 3 a.m. And yes, that makes a huge, huge difference in how much energy I have in the morning. What if you have a Spotify store? How can you report that on your PUA or Shopify? Um, okay, so you would definitely, so if you didn't get enough to get some kind of 1099 from Shopify, so depending on how much you made, they might send you a 1099. I want to say that that might be like a 1099K or 1099 MISC. Um, you could potentially use that. If not, can you print up a sales report from the time where you were selling on Shopify? That's probably what I would do if you didn't actually file taxes for the years that they're looking for. I would pull up sales reports from the months that they're asking for and send those in. And I think that that would really solidify the validity of your claim. Also, though, I wouldn't just send them like pictures of the sales reports. I would include either an affidavit or like a short paragraph. I was self-employed. My business was selling X, Y, and Z on Shopify. I have enclosed my sales reports for the months that you are asking for. Then I'd sign it, and then that should be good enough. Okay. Mary, your question was skipped at 12:01. I remember seeing your name, but I will scroll back up. Debbie wants the movie report. I wasn't there this week, so I'm not sure. We got the new Woody Allen movie. We also got the GameStop movie, which is kind of about all of the craziness with their stock. But I'm not sure which was the number one movie since I wasn't in this week. Let me scroll back up to Mary's, and then I'll get Julia's, and then I am going to hop out today. Mary at 12:01? I don't see your question at 12:01. I see Josie's question at 12. I see Josie's question at 12:01, and then I see a comment from Sugar Sprinkles at 12:03. Mary, I know that I did answer a question from you. So if you can either give me the correct timestamp, or if you just want to ask it again, I'll get to yours right after Julia's. Okay. Julia says, EDD rejected my document with insufficient proof for my intent to return to the workforce. EDD didn't say solid offer letter is a must at the process of applying in May 2020, not till November of 2021 per federal rules. Yeah. So in your case, do you have the contact information? Did you put your resume on Indeed or LinkedIn or anything like that? Because like they did say, like they said if you had a job offer, but then there were also some little things. I would try again with the documents that you have. I would call the tier 2 representative and see if they're able to switch it. I would explain in more detail the exact steps that you were looking for when you were returning to the workforce. I would list places that you applied with contact numbers if you have them, even if they didn't hire you. Because, yeah, that is one of the things that they have changed a bit in terms of the documents that they're willing to accept, is that they are looking for a concrete job offer. But I think that you're correct that they did not communicate that very well. And in my opinion, it would be worth, one, calling and speaking to a tier 2 rep, two, sending in the appeal, have the appeal hearing, and then see if they hit you with an overpayment notice. Guerrero, thank you so much for the donation. It is never necessary, but always, always appreciated. I never want anybody to feel like they have to donate to the channel, but thank you so much. Is it possible to get Social Security and disability at the same time? I'm 62 and have 60% hearing loss. I don't think they'll give you both. And I answered that earlier for free. I'm so sorry if you missed it. I'm going to Google it really quick, and I will ask my mom and I will follow up. I don't think you can, but I'm going to type it in. Can you get disability? And I'm sorry about your hearing loss as well. My mom also has hearing loss. I've never asked her what percent, but it's a lot. She has trouble hearing, and I know that that's frustrating, and that certainly does make it harder to work. Hang on. Okay. Here's what it says. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So this is what it says when I Googled, can you get disability and Social Security at the same time? It says, many individuals are eligible for benefits under both the Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and Supplemental Security Income, SSI programs at the same time. We use the term concurrent when individuals are eligible for benefits under both programs. So let's see here. Let me see what the AARP says. They say Yes, you can receive Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and Supplemental Security Income, SSI, at the same time. Social Security uses the term concurrent when you qualify for both disability benefits it administers. However, drawing disability benefits can reduce your SSI payment or make you ineligible for one. That's due to differences in the program's intent and eligibility criteria. Both SSDI and SSI provide benefits to people who meet Social Security's definition of disability, a physical or mental health condition severe enough to prevent you from doing most work for at least a year. But SSDI provides payments to disabled people regardless of their financial situation. Qualification is tied to how long you were employed and work for which you paid Social Security taxes, and payment amounts are based on your average lifetime earnings. You can't get SSI if what Social Security calls your countable income exceeds a federally set threshold, which in 2022 is $841 a month for individuals. Anyway, it looks like you should look into it. And if you need help with that, and then it goes into benefits. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna look this up on my computer and then I'm gonna drop the link in chat. What is wrong with me? Okay, sometimes my mom would say, use your brain, Shelly. Can you get this? Hold on. I'm going to drop this link for you. I'm going to drop the AARP link if I can find it on the computer. And of course, it doesn't. Okay, now I'm going to type in. Okay. I'm going to drop this link for you so that you can see exactly what I am reading. And you can follow this link. And then it's at the bottom where it starts to talk about the benefits of doing that. So yes, I would at least look into that more. Most of the time you're going to have a caseworker, so I would talk to them about it and weigh the pros and cons and see which situation works best for you. Okay. Julia says, I provided email correspondence with potential employers, resumes submitted, and job boards profiles. Okay, so Julia, in your case, I definitely would call them and speak to a tier 2 representative and see if they can reverse that, because if you can prove that you were sincerely looking for work, they I can't guarantee what they'll do, but it's definitely worth pursuing. I think if you have all that proof, that has a strong case that you are out there trying to get work. And hopefully they will see that as well. And maybe even a tier 2 rep could fix that over the phone. And if not, definitely send in that appeal. Lois Lane, I got Social Security and SSI because of your low income. That's good. Yeah. And it looks like you can get both at the same time. Okay. Nicola says, I worked for 2 catering gigs while finishing undergrad and applied for PUA because hospitality industry shut down. Yes. Nicola, do you have the payments for those 2 gigs? That should be enough to submit to the EDD. Okay. No movie report. I started watching Being the Ricardos at home. And it's good so far, but I went to sleep early. Okay, what's my email? Can I put it in the chat? Oh, well, yes, I can. Guys, I don't respond that much to email. Just because so cool. This is the first time I've given my new email. My email is Shelly at Shelly. That's not it because it's oh my goodness. Hold on. Shelly at Shelly's Millions, not Shelly Millions. At Shelly'sMillions.com. Okay, the second one is the right one. Can I delete my own comment? I can. Okay. There we go. I forgot the S in my own email address. So it's Shelly at Shelly'sMillions.com. Hi, Marcio. So yeah, I can't promise that I will respond, but that is how to get in contact with me. And it doesn't have anything to do with money or anything like that. It's just that I'm limited on time. So the best way to get a question answered from me is by popping into one of the lives. I know that a lot of times you guys don't want to share like personal information, and please don't share personal information in the lives, or maybe it's just like too complicated, but like try and maybe do like a two-parter to the question. And I'll try and get to it this way. You're welcome, Julia. And I hope that they decide in your favor. It sounds like you have a lot of documentation to prove that what you're saying is truthful. So good luck to you. Okay, InfoGold. Thank you for the response. You have another question. Would you recommend you do a business plan? If so, how long should it be? So that's also, you can. However, I'm going to say with the business plan that really the EDD wants to see that you have already done a business plan, not that you're doing one now, but I will also try and make a video on that. And yeah, so you can, but in theory, the business plan would have already been done before you filed for benefits. And the example that I found, so if you Google it, right, a lot of different examples, like if you Google example of a business plan, a lot of different examples will come up. And hopefully I have the time to get around to making that video on how to write a business plan, but the one that I'm going to pick is going to be a one-page example. Always try and keep things simple, guys. Don't make it overly complicated, right? So I will try and make a video on that. There's a couple videos I need to make though, and I'm a little bit behind. I go back to work tomorrow. I've got another project I'm working on. So my time is pretty limited, but I will try and get that out. And I don't mean to be like, oh, just Google it, but like, that's what I did. And yeah, I would find the simplest example that you can, the little one-page example business plan, and use that. You could even Google, I bet, one-page business example. Here, I'll do it real quick. I'll do it and then I'll drop the link. One-page business plan. Oh, there's a template. Okay. Free. This better be free. Free one. Here we go. I haven't even looked at this. Is it really a free template? It says it's free. I have not had a chance to investigate this yet, but it says it's free. It's a template. Looks like it's pretty easy. So there's an example of how to do a one-page business plan. Thank you. I will tell my mom hi for everybody. I have a surprise. I'm going to try and make a video. I got to do it over on TikTok though, because I can't say too much about it, but I have some things in plan for me and my mom so that she will be on camera a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see anything else from Mary either. And I did answer an earlier question from her. So I hope that she finds the answer that she needs. 1212. And I have it set to live chat again this time. I don't have it set to sometimes I have it set to top chat, but I have my act together today. I should be seeing all the questions. Since it's not there, maybe try typing it in the comments after this video. You guys, I would love it if you liked the video. Thank you guys. I am going to go and see my mom today. Thank you, Sugar Sprinkles, for popping in and moderating and reminding everybody to like the video. Don't forget, check out the NFT video if that's something that you're curious about. That terminology is starting to be everywhere. So I have a video on how to get a free NFT if you see the Moonfall movie. And then Debbie, I'll actually be watching Moonfall, not at my theater, but at AMC. And I will definitely come back and report to you guys on that. That's after February 3rd. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I'll see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow night at 9. All right, bye.